Ladies and gentlemen, may I direct your attention to something quite extraordinary, quite incredible, quite unlike anything you may have experienced in your life.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Takeover Show. I'm your host, Misas, and always I got the Tortanator. He's a big fan of tortas. He's also owner of Duchi's. Please give it up for my boy, Chuy.
Welcome. Happy spring break, gang. Hope everyone's having a wild one with this nasty weather.
Man, dude, I fucking hate the wind right now, dude. But Chuy, episode number 48, bro. Episode number 48. Before we do introduce our special guest today, we do want to give a big old shout out to our partners and sponsors here at Genuine Reference Studios. Anything music, hit up Genuine Reference Studios. We'll have all that information at the link below. But Chuy, we got a dope ass guest here today. He's been a good friend of ours for a while. I've known him for a bit. I don't know how to really introduce this guy, man. I mean,
he's handsome, he's talented, he's worldwide, bro. He's on the radio.
I heard he's got a big, but not just that.
He's the home DJ of our
yes, sir. UTEP Miners. Please give it up for the one and only DJ Jason Craig.
What is up, fellers?
What up, gang?
How we doing? Let's do it.
How's your spring break going?
It's dirty out there.
It's bad out here, bro.
It's fucking dirty out there.
That's why he's got them goggles on right now, dog.
Jesus Christ.
Jason Craig, bro. Thank you so much for taking the time to come and hang out with us, dude. You've always been very open, and you always say yes to come and hang out. This is actually the third time that you appear on our fucking show, bro. That is two more than all the guests that we've had
on. And it's an honor, honestly.
Yeah, it is, man. It is. You've been on our show more than ever, more than anybody else. But actually, the first time we had you on was on 420 when we were out there at where were we?
Nubis Dispensary.
Nubis Dispensary. Shout out to Nubis Dispensary. It was a 420. We decided to just reach out to a bunch of guests, and you were one of them that we thought about, and you showed up. You were on the pod. We had a surprise guest too that we didn't expect to be there, but our boy Buzz Adams.
Yeah, that's Jesus Christ.
Just randomly showed up. And then not just that, maybe a couple Cinco de Mayo, right? It was exactly. The next month actually.
Yeah.
You hit us up and we were out there at Gordos. Shout out to Gordos, everybody out
Gordos,
there.
honestly.
And
you gave me the opportunity to vent elote all night and just give snacks all night. So thank you for that one.
I fucking finished most of that elote that night. But all that being said, Jason, thank you so much once again. For those who might not know who you are, bro, can you kind of introduce yourself a little bit here?
Yeah, my name is DJ Jason Craig. I represent SiriusXM Pitbull Globalization. I DJ for UTEP Athletics, whether it's football, women's basketball, men's basketball, and their volleyball team.
Sheesh.
Oh shit, you do the volleyball team as well.
Yeah.
Fuck. Shit, dude. Damn. That's dope.
One,
yeah, we'll get into that. I think the first time I ever heard you was a few years ago, and it was on the radio. You were doing some radio shit too, right?
Yeah.
At one point.
Yeah, for a little bit locally.
But let's go ahead and let's fucking go back, bro. Let's go back to the young Mr. Craig. I know that doing some research on you and talking to you, you were a military brat, right? Your parents were military. You were always traveling everywhere. Where were you born?
I was born in Texas.
You were born in Texas.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Nice
I knew this was gonna be a good pod. I knew it, dude. I smelled it when he came in. He's like, "That smells like a Texan right there."
Right there, boy.
Yeah.
Being in the military, how does that experience or childhood hit from a regular
Yeah, how was
childhood?
It's like we move like every 3-4 years or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're just constantly moving. So I was born in Texas, and then we moved, and I stayed with my grandma for a little bit, and then I moved and went to Japan from there, and then from there went back to my grandma's in Cali, and then went to Hawaii.
Oh shit!
And
Damn, bro.
And then went to Cali, and then pretty much just grew up in Cali. Just moved in different spots of Cali.
So Jason Craig is in some sense international.
Nationwide, yeah.
He's nationwide, but international.
International, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. But you also at one point also joined the military, right?
Yeah.
You did
So
military?
I did 2 branches. I did the Army and the Navy. I did the Navy first.
You did the Navy first. How old
Navy
were you?
first.
Like right off at high school?
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And then how long were you in the Navy for?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
And then after that, you just jumped into the Army right off the bat too, or you took some time off, or what happened?
I got out, and like the job market was like shit. It was really bad. I was like, dude, I need money. I got kids.
Yeah.
So I joined the Army right after that. Not too much longer. It was like probably like 4 months,
Damn.
and then joined the Army. And I was in there for 6 years.
So right after high school, right? I mean, 17, 18, 19-year-old joining the Navy. When did the whole music start? Was it something that you were younger when you were a small kid, traveling?
I mean, I've always been into music. Like literally, I always loved music. Like my thing was like Michael Jackson, MC Hammer. That was like those were like those were my dudes, right?
Right.
Growing up, and then I got more into it. Like my friends were doing, like in high school, they were doing like freestyle mixtapes, and they would put them out, and it would just be around like people that you knew. So if you knew about it, you would get like the mixtape, and then you would listen to the stupid freestyles that they were doing, but they were just dissing everybody at school. So if you didn't know or you weren't cool, like you weren't able to hear about it, and we're just sitting there listening to those things and like laughing at the people that were dissing.
That's funny. So before all that, like when you were younger, right? Like you said, you've always loved music. Did that love for music come from your parents, or was it just something natural that came to you?
I think so. My dad was in a band. And he played bass and he played guitar and keys. My mom loved music. My grandma always listened to music, so yeah.
It was always around.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
always around. Yeah.
Well, I just want to say thank you for your service, bro. But growing up as a childhood, like you didn't have the fucking phone like these kids.
Nah.
So a young Jason Craig, bro, how would he sound? Like you said, you guys had to re-record the songs.
Yeah, I want to know the
Did you-
process
yeah,
of that.
did you-
What did you guys do for that shit?
And then did you collect records? Because CDs were, what was the thing back then?
I'm not that old.
Well, my bad.
I was gonna say, chill with your question like that. Bro.
We did CD. Well, at first it was tapes,
It wasn't like that.
We had tapes, and so we would go get tapes, And then if you could, you had a tape recorder, you'd record whatever you hear on the radio for the songs that you like. You're like, I like that song. So you would sit by the radio and be like waiting and like, dude, fuck. I've been here like 3 hours. Oh, there it is. And then you hit play or record, and then you would record that song, and then when that song's over, you stop it and wait for your next cool song. That's how you would make your little mixtapes on cassette.
Oh shit!
So this is like
Damn.
you guys were like kind of like in some sense already kind of like DJing and remixing and making your mixes before it became really a big thing. Who was the first that you saw or a DJ that you're like, oh shit, this is something that I want to do, or you didn't know that you wanted to do that until later?
I never wanted to be a DJ. Like that was not even. It wasn't a thought ever. But I think like I always respected DJs. Like, the first like dope DJs when I heard like a mixtape from them was the Baker Boys. The Baker Boys in LA, when they dropped their mixtapes, it was like, bro, insane, fire. Just the way they put their tapes out and all the song selection, it was super dope. So those were like the first DJs that I always gave love to when I first heard them. And then there's DJ E-Man, Mr. Chalk, and all these dudes that are on like, on like Power 106. And at the time it was 92.3 The Beat. And I would listen to those guys. And then like, those were like the DJs, right? But I would also listen to like, the personalities. We had John Lennon in the house party in the morning. Very entertaining stuff,
Yeah.
And then, Big Boy, who's on, who's on
yeah.
Real
Big Boy
923.
Radio, yeah.
Same thing, like very entertaining stuff. And I was like, man, that's got to be really cool to kind of just shoot the shit and sit there and, listen to music or whatever you know.
Did
but
you
never
ever-
thought I was gonna do that.
That's
ever.
crazy, dude. Did you, were you ever in? What was like the type of genre that you were into at that time? Was it always like one thing, or were you always into different?
At
shit?
the time, it was like more hip hop. Like I loved hip hop, but I listened to everything at the time except for country. I wasn't into country and rock, like as a kid, you know. It was only like hip hop, and then they would have house because if you go to like the parties and shit like that, they would have like house and that type of stuff
Electro.
and pop
Yeah.
music, you know. So that's what I would listen to, and then it just when I moved like probably like 8th grade, middle school is when I started getting into rock because I started skating.
Right.
So that's when I always started getting into rock and all the other genres and stuff.
That is crazy.
Tony Hawk punk era style.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Chewy, he's not that old too, man. If you say
Tony Hawk is early 90s, bro. That shit's fucking dope.
I know, but I'm just going back to the question how you asked.
No, I didn't mean it like that. I see you like the big era, the Juice era, where like you guys had to record.
I think you were like kind of like in that like kind of the same as me, man, in that era where like we transition into not just like really good music but new pop and other stuff, but the technology and the way that it was made and the way that now like nowadays anybody could fucking mix and do their shit just off their phone and shit, right?
Yeah.
But you mentioned, in high school you guys were recording shit. That shit reminded me of like I remember having my first cell phone and I wanted to record like like my voicemail and I wanted to record a song, so I had to the radio would come up and right away I would put up my fucking voicemail and shit and just put it up to the phone,
Right.
to
Yeah,
the fucking
you're right.
radio.
You know how we used to like this is how we knew like you would try to get like a cool voice. You would get on your little voicemail and wait for the thing or when you're calling like that chick and you're like, hey, what are you doing?
You change your voice real quick, like
I'm doing my homework. Oh no.
I just wanted to call you and tell you that I'm doing my homework too, girl. And I was thinking about you.
What number are you on?
What number?
I chose C.
I'm doing the reading part. There's not multiple.
Yeah, I love that you can read because I can't.
Yeah. You would just practice like, or your voicemail, you get all deep on the voicemail. Like, hey, you know what to do at the tone. Leave it. Like you're trying to be super cool. Like it was, but that's how you would like test out your like radio voice.
Yeah.
I guess or whatever,
But I mean, even having access to like that cassette player of that band that you like or the song, I think most of it came from the radio, right? And so, I mean, I've always thought when did one DJ ever think about like mixing more than one song all in one? Like, and it's kind of like listening to radio. You don't just listen to the same band album over and over. Eventually, you listen to one song, another song comes up, but the thought that somebody said like, hey, I can mix this song and then fucking like switch it off to this one and just keep that shit going.
Well, like DJing, before it was like what it is, it was called the merry-go-round. That's what the concept of DJing was kind of based on. It was a part of a song that would just like they would get to the one part of the song that was like the best part, which was the break back in the day, and they would get to that, and then they would have the other record and like, okay, play it again. And then go back, play it again, and then play it. And they called it the merry-go-round. It wasn't called like mixing or whatever.
When was this? When did this shit start?
70s, when hip hop was like
When it was
being
just starting?
born.
Right.
Like they never called it hip hop or anything. They had like block parties or whatever.
There's
they
no
had
genre.
nothing. They were just playing records, and they just found out. One guy was like, "That's the part where everybody dances. That's the best part of the song. So why don't we just let that shit keep going?"
Keep
so they
looping
just
it.
Oh
kept.
shit! Like just keep looping it over and
So
over.
it was called
and
the
over.
merry-go-round. That's what it was called.
Damn.
But like, I don't know when the first person decided. Like, excuse me, that win yesterday. Fuck
Yeah.
shit.
Say, bro.
Yeah, if you
take
got a
a
chance,
shot.
damn it.
go ahead.
Like when they I don't know the first DJ that was like, oh, well, I guess if they're DJing their sets on the radio or something like that. Like when that happened, that was probably in the 80s or something. They just recorded it, and then if you were able to get a tape of it, you were able to get a tape of it. So I don't think it was like, oh, we thought of this. It kind of just happened,
Right.
Yeah.
So who was somebody like right off the bat? Like I know that you mentioned some DJs here earlier. But when was it that you were like, you know what, this is what I want to fucking do? I know that you said you never wanted to be a DJ. Until what age and how long after high school did you decide, like, shit, like, I could fucking do this?
Inspired you, like, this is the one.
He's like, yesterday.
I was old as fuck. I was old as shit.
You know what, you're right. He is pretty old.
I was old at the time. So, well, considering where most DJs would start, you know what I'm saying? When I first actually did decide I was going to DJ, I guess I wasn't deciding to DJ. I just kind of did it. I was at this bar in upstate New York where I was stationed at, and that DJ sucked. Like, he was just playing shit. It was ass. I was like, what are you playing?
What is going on?
Like,
here?
what is these songs? This is not good. And I was like, I can play better shit. Now, looking back at it, what a dick. What a dick.
I was going to say,
Who
like,
the fuck am I to fucking tell the DJ I better? Who the fuck? What a dick.
Jason was like,
No sea mamón.
I did that once at a wedding, and he almost fucking wanted to just shut the whole wedding off.
No, I would have
like,
did
no,
the
no,
same
no.
shit.
Like,
Fucking, who the fuck do I think I was? But he was like, all right, bet. Next week, come in here with your CDs and fucking do it.
oh, okay.
And then that guy got fired, and then I had the job.
Hey, so
here
during
you are.
this whole time, you always, like you said, you know, you were into music. You would collect your CDs.
I just knew music. You know what I'm saying? Like how, I you know, back in the time when I was like not thinking of DJing, I would just, hey, when we go skate, like, hey, Jason, make sure you freaking make a new mix CD so we can get, you know, amped up so we can go fucking hit the park. I'd make.
He's that type of
CDs.
friend that if you're driving in the car, you're gonna give him the aux.
I'm the ox.
Yeah, he's the
but they were before
You're
the
on
ox.
the tooth no matter what. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so fucking I'd make some shit,
So-
download a bunch of shit from Napster back in the day.
No LimeWire?
Napster.
Dude, Napster, bro, before Metallica became dicks. Metallica. So when,
Explain.
Put me on.
So Napster was like the first thing.
Okay.
Like that was.
I remember Napster.
To download fucking music, we were like,
No fucking-
what?
Yes,
Yeah.
bro. The fact that you could download any
I don't
song.
have to
you
go
could
to the store. I could just. What? Because we would.
Yeah.
people
no,
like Chewy never
I
loaded
was, no,
this.
I was
dude.
part. I had an MP3 player.
What we
so
had
to
to
me,
do.
I
What
had
we had
LimeWire.
to do was like, before Napster, we would have to go to the store.
Okay.
Buy the CD.
Yeah, the blank
put
one?
it in. No, like a normal. Like I want the album. I have to
Oh,
buy the
shit.
You have
album.
to buy the CD. Yeah, you have to buy.
Put it in the computer, and then have the computer rip it, and then it sits on my computer. That's how I would
And
get it
then
on my
that's how
computer.
you could download it into a CD, and then if
And
you had
that's-
other CDs on there, you would have
so
the song.
I would have to buy the whole album first, and then pick songs, and then like it was in. That's how we had to do it. Then Napster came out, and it was like you don't have to go there. Just download whatever song you want.
yeah.
Think of a song, type it in, download it, and then you can make your CDs.
Do you ever have those where like you wanted to look for a song and you found it and then you download it and it's like a different ass song?
Oh no, it was fucking.
I'll tell you one right now.
It started when Kazaa came out. Kazaa was like the first LimeWire. Like
Yeah.
Kazaa happened, and you would download the shit, and it was like Jerry Springer. Like
Yes, bro.
He was like, "Hey, it's Jerry Springer from the Jerry Springer Show. You're illegally downloading some shit." I'm like, "Nigga, get!" I'm trying to hear the Red Hot.
Delete, go to the next one. Yeah.
The fuck?
When you bringing up LimeWire, bro. I don't know why. I don't know. We got into MP4s, bro. And my cousin was like, download Chicken Little, bro. You can watch movies on your shit. Tell me why Chicken Little is a fucking porno, bro.
Oh shit! You got that 2 girls 1 cup.
Almost, yeah. So MP3.
And that's how
MP4.
Troy fucked up all of his family's fucking internet shit, dude.
So for us, for the my friends and us, LimeWire was the download to an MP3, and that's as far as you can get. No iPod Touch, no Nano at the time.
Yeah.
So-
So it's the same thing, like, but just Napster was just different, dude. Like LimeWire was pretty. Like it was
It was
pretty.
dope, bro. It was cool.
But fucking
If-
Napster, it looked like some like hacker shit. It was
shit.
it looked like the fucking Terminator 2. Like it was like
You have to
the
do it
hell?
while your
And
parents
just-
aren't
and just
home.
words just scrolling down the screen. Like what the fuck?
It looked like the Matrix taking over your
It
fucking
was. It was
computer.
crazy. But then you find the one, and no one knew about like what kilobits or whatever fucked. Like,
None of that, megabytes and shit,
Like
yeah.
what?
Dude, if you had
quality.
1
You just
megabyte, that was a fucking shit ton,
download
dude.
that bitch. Once you saw it, like
He's
that's
right.
the one. Just download it.
Yeah, just download that shit, dude. You're good, man.
And then, Kazaa came, and then LimeWire, and then you guys figured out a whole bunch of other shit. But by that time, I had money. I was like,
for Jason Craig back at the time, what's a CD or what's a song that you still to this day have in your playlist, Pops?
Humpty Dance.
For real?
Humpty Dance. Digital.
to the
Underground.
hump to death.
Yeah.
Damn.
Digital Underground, Humpty Dance, never fails.
Never fails.
Never. I haven't played it in a while, but that song embodies my soul.
Damn, that's
Okay.
badass. If
Why?
you can name
Explain
two
a
more?
little bit
Yeah,
more.
if you can explain that
A little bit more.
I don't want to go.
deep.
I lived vicariously through that song and then lived that song. So you feel what I'm saying?
So really quick, I wanted to get into this. So okay, so you found kind of like your friends would always having to call you to make a mix before you guys went skating, and then high school ended, right? You went into the military and all that. What happened to the music during this time?
So-
Was it something gone, or you still played with it?
At the time, that was in middle school and high school when I was telling you about those mixtapes, right? That my friends were making. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try this. I want to go and try to freestyle and shit. So I went in there and they recorded me like what the shit?
Fucking G.
They recorded me. They're like, yeah, just go in there, write a rhyme or whatever. And it was literally about chicken. I don't know what the fuck I was doing, but I did it, right? Some shitty ass beat. My friend has it somewhere.
Right.
Like it's around. But
So it's still out there. We gotta find.
yeah,
We gotta find it, dude.
I think I have it on my Google Drive.
We'll investigate.
But then, so yeah, we did this song, and then we started rapping. Like me and my friends started rapping and stuff, and we were making like good music. Like it was dope. And all the people in high school, they're like, "Yo, we want another mixtape." We would just keep making dope mixtapes instead of dissing everybody. We're actually just making dope shit.
Yeah.
So we just kept doing that, and then
This motherfucker started off just by dissing.
from there.
Just straight.
I mean,
Okay,
that's how the
check
great
this.
starts, right? Like that's how Facebook started,
yeah,
right?
the
Just
first-
trying to diss people.
The
Talking
first,
shit.
like I remember one time, bro, like this girl broke up with me, and I went in that booth and went ape shit.
You just
I
cooked?
fucking burnt that bitch. I went ape shit. I got out the
Damn.
booth. My boys were like,
That's murder, dog.
bro, what the fuck? Where is that? Because I'm always like the kind of like, like when the rap groups, there's always like the
Yeah,
one
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Like D12 has Bizarre, right? He
Yeah,
was like
yeah,
the
yeah.
weird one. That was like my role. It was like the hype guy, kind of like just the offbeat one.
DJ
and then I
Yella.
went in there and just fucking murdered that girl.
Killed
And he
it?
was like, yo, where the fuck was this guy at the whole time?
Oh shit.
Anyways, but I figured out like rapping wasn't like my thing, and I was like, let me try to make beats. And then
So you evolved.
They let me start making beats, and then I started like
Cooking.
cooking beats. Like they were like, oh shit.
So you had a boiler room
my
set?
and then my homie, like one of the home like in every rap clique or whatever, like there's always the one that's like the best, right? So like it was me and my homies, Josh and Jason. We were 3 together, and then there was another guy that was always with us, but he was just way better than us, and he had his own thing going on. So News, shout out to B News.
B News, shout out.
He
Shout
heard
out, shout out.
He heard one of my beats, and he was like, "That's it." And once he said that, I was like, "Oh fuck, I know what I'm doing," because he's
He put you on,
particular on beats. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I knew I was like good at making beats and shit. So I just kept doing that, and then going into the military, I just kept making beats. And so when we're on deployment and on the ship and shit, Marines would come on and stuff like that with me and one of the homies I work with. I would make beats for him because he would rap. I would make beats for him. He would record it. We recorded in like a, what do we call him? Fucking. Like
Damn,
a
imagine
fan
that
room.
album, dude.
And now I want
fan room.
Sponsored by the United States of America military.
That's pretty sick.
But it was called like but it was in a fan room. So I'd make the beat, and then we would go in there and we would record it. You know, we had laptops and all that shit by that time. So we would record that shit, and then, we'd sell the CD to people on the ship and shit.
Oh shit.
So
Damn.
that's how
Congrats, bro.
So
I
it's
just kept doing
still continued, right? It still continued
Musically.
into your the Navy, And then
when I got into the Army and I got to that spot in upstate New York, that's when the DJing started. And I still kind of produce, but the DJing took my focus because I was like, okay, I got to be better than I did last week.
So you started growing the motion when you went to New York?
Yeah.
So how did that start? Did you get like a gig at first? Did somebody ask you, hey, can you just come out here?
No, it's when I told that DJ that he sucked.
Damn.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Take
So
your
when I told him like, hey, like I can play better music than you, not play better than you, I can play better music. That's all it was. And then he was fired. And then I happened to go in there the next week. And I was like, okay, well, I got some more CDs. I can fucking put some shit together. So I did it again. And then it was getting to the point of like, oh, fuck. I need like more shit. So I would have to go download. Like I'd have to constantly get better. And then at that time, it was just me playing CDs on their equipment. I was like, this equipment sucks. Like me saying that, and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
But you kind of knew, like you said, you knew music. You know,
I was just like, this doesn't work the way it's supposed to work. Like I know it's supposed to sound a way, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking up. I don't even know what the fuck. Like YouTube wasn't even like a thing to look at. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I was just like, I know this isn't it. So I was like, is there like a computer DJ thing that kind of works? Whatever. And I found this thing called like the Exponent Torque, whatever. And then that worked for a little bit. That was cool. And then it helped me with my MP3. So I didn't have to bring my CDs anymore. Cause I was like,
Yeah. I was going to ask you, did you have to package carry?
Not like that, but I had to carry like 5 books of CDs,
Damn.
like 100, you know, thing. Like,
And then
just
to look for
like
each
fucking
one
know where
right
my
away.
shit was, and
That's crazy.
Dude, it
the
was-
evolution of DJing.
that shit
bro.
sucked.
Holy
Damn,
crap.
so he is old. You are old, bro.
huh?
When it comes to music, the way it's evolved.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
technology and so much.
And then so from there, once I got that controller thing, and I was doing my stuff, somebody told me, you know, I went outside to go smoke a cigarette real quick, and some random was like, you know what? You know who you would like, dude? Because you play like all types of music. You know who you would like? DJ AM. You would love
Fuck
him.
yeah.
Oh, shit.
And so he told me that, and I'm like, who the fuck is that? And then I learned who he was, and then he was like, right after that, fucking that guy was everywhere. And I was like, this dude's the GOAT.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. And so from him, and then I heard the Fix Your Face mixtape. It's him and Travis Barker.
Dude, that was legendary.
And when I first heard that, I was like, okay, this motherfucker is this is insane.
Yeah.
I was in 9th grade when that dropped, bro. Have you heard it?
Yes, I have.
And that changed everything. And I was like, I need to be like that.
Can you freestyle like that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
So at
That's
that
cool.
moment right there, that's when you were like, you know what? That's what I want to do.
I want to be just like that.
So DJ AM is like,
That's my
Your
top.
Mount Rushmore.
He's my. He's
So
on
at that moment, I mean, obviously, if you think about it, saying that guy, you know, can't play good music or whatever, you could play better music than this dude. Since that moment on, that's where your career when it comes to DJing happened, right? When did it become something that was just that's all you were doing? Was it really right off the bat? Is that why you stayed off from the military, or what
when
happened?
I got here,
what year was that?
2011. When I got here to El Paso, you know, I still had to rebuild. No one knew me. I had to fucking learn and figure out everything, where to go and
I end up in Juarez.
who to talk to and
don't
shit
take
like
that right to what is.
So I just kept going places, and then I met my homie Christian, and there was always. It's not a language barrier. See, that's the one thing that a lot of people don't know. Is like there is no language barrier in El Paso. Everybody knows English. When they don't want to talk to you is when they want to speak Spanish. You know what I'm saying? So my homie, he was Dominican, and
like
he
that.
understood,
That's good.
and he spoke Spanish. So he would talk for me when they started doing that. And so
He helped you.
he helped me get in the door.
Hey, you know what? That's something good that he brought that up because I
listen.
mean, even that I've lived here all my life. Now that you said it, it's true. I've gone somewhere and you go to a store and you speak English and then they understand it, but they just keep speaking Spanish, and then you could tell that they're upset or they just
don't want to fuck with you.
they
or
don't want to
whatever.
fuck with you anymore because why? Because you're not speaking
Spanish.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And it goes vice versa here, bro. My No Sabo kids, I speak to them in Spanish, and they're like, I speak English. I'm like, well, you fucking look more Mexican than me, my boy.
but you understand it, dude.
But there is that language barrier. So your friend was helping you open the doors?
So he would help me, get through the places that he thought I should be, because he was like, dude, what we're doing where we're at, you could literally go way further because of how you DJ. Like my boy, he's not my homie anymore, but he was like, he was dope. He was a dope DJ, fucking fire. But musically, he didn't have it. He wasn't like
He wasn't
that.
it, yeah.
But he was like, but you are on another level. You might not be the best DJ, but your music is gonna fucking go further than anything else.
It's the music that you choose.
So he would put me in those rooms, and I would just do what I do. And so that's literally how I got everything and how I became who I am. And at the time, I was still in the military, and then
He evolved you to where
I was just like, fuck this, and I got out.
So when you got out, how was that? Did you have to get a job, or did you go
No.
straight into getting into DJing?
I just kept DJing.
Damn.
Yeah, I never stopped.
shit, bro. Guys,
And it's all because they were talking shit in high school.
Well, yeah, because we were fucking talking shit to motherfuckers.
fuck them. Fuck them.
And it was, what's crazy? You know how in high school,
Hold on for that. Cheers to that.
Yeah,
Got a
cheers,
little
cheers,
shot for
cheers,
that?
cheers, cheers.
and it's not like, so check it out, right? You know, in high school, you got your cliques, right? Or there's the groups. Everybody's kind of in their own little group. There's the jocks, right? And then there's
The
like
skaters.
Skaters.
skaters,
the cholos.
the gangsters, the fucking
Preps.
the preppy, yeah. You know, all those groups, right? And most of the time, the popular jock, use fresas or the fucking preppy
Preps.
people, they usually kick it together.
Yeah.
And they shit on everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They'll sit there and shit on everybody. So most of the mixtapes were about them.
It's crazy
Because we
we
would-
making me go back to that time, dude. And I'm like,
You know? So
It's
it's
true.
more attacking of the popular people rather than just like,
it's like a rebellion, dog.
yeah, but it was cool. And then, the popular people, they would pick on, everybody else, the kids that need special needs and stuff like that, they would pick on them and shit. And we would have to be like, yo, dog.
That ain't
like,
cool.
Shut the fuck up, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I will kick you in the dick.
Yeah.
Kick you in the nuts, my
You know
dog.
what I'm saying?
No, in the dick, bro. Fuck them nuts, dude.
But like, and we had jocks and shit like in our little clique, and that wasn't he don't want to smoke with
Yeah.
him. He was
Yeah,
like,
No,
'cause
no,
if he
no,
got
yeah.
mad, it was over. Like,
It's a wrap.
You know
so
what's
they would
cool?
be like, hey yo, they'd be like, yo, Mo, they would start talking shit back, and then he would show up and like, what's up, dude? And they're like, yo, no, hey, no, bro, no, you didn't understand. It was different. Like, I get it. It's cool. You know,
Yeah.
They flip it real quick.
Yeah, they flip it real quick.
But
dude.
yeah, man, like I was never. It might, people that watch this or whatever, they might say like, "Yo, you're like that." Me, I am, but I also am understanding of people, and sometimes it gets so overwhelming of just like douchiness, where I'm just like,
And you know what? It's
no, dog.
No,
like,
it's crazy that you bring this up
sometimes,
because
yeah, I get it. You want to be popular, you want to be cool, and I totally get that. Everybody wants to be cool, but sometimes being too cool ain't fucking cool.
yeah, it ain't. But I think you have that mentality, and it's reminding me of a conversation that we had this past weekend. You were you said it straight up. You were like, "Look, man, I've been around all types of people, all types of genres, all types of music, all types of ethnicities, and all this. Like, I've seen everything, and there's always some people that hate. But the thing with you is like you've already experienced so that there is no." You already know that there's different type of different everything. And so what I've noticed too is you said you've been here since 2011. You had a friend that had to help you with Spanish. But yet that day that we went to go see you, you're playing some of the best Mexican jams.
Dude, oh my
some
God.
of the classics. But because you understand it, right? You understand the culture.
blend
You
it-
understand
yeah, the
that
culture.
The culture, because I don't understand a fucking word. I have no idea. They could be saying some bullshit. Hey, that's just a bot, though.
But you know what? Like knowing you for a few years now, and we've seen you play at other events and at places, you literally play the shit that my mom would like, that my grandma would have heard too, that the
new generation loves. Yeah,
like, and I think that all has to do with your experience, being a fucking, you know, a military brat, being able to fucking be everywhere and knowing all these people, but also knowing the hate that, like, hey, some people might not like some shit,
exactly,
and they get mad, you know, but that's what I love about your music. That's what I love about the type of shit and it's so easy for you to kind of blend into any type of culture, any city. I feel like Jason Craig could go to any city in America
and lock it out
because he could connect to anybody, because you're good at what you know. It's like you said, you were good at what it sounds. You weren't just good at one genre. You said, like, I wasn't listening to country before, exactly, and all this shit, but now we hear that shit on your fucking playlist. We could go out there and we could hear some fucking corrido. We could hear some old school Mexican shit.
The couple
some reggaeton.
There's a couple. We were laughing, bro. You had a couple in the back, dude. Everyone had coffee except this Mexican couple. 3 shots in there. Remember? You had them bumping and grinding. I don't know what song it was, bro.
That's what I found very unique about you, man, and I love about it, and that's and to be honest, like, when I first met you, I thought you were originally from El Paso, only because when I first listened to your mix and you DJing, it's like, oh, that's somebody from El Paso that would play this type of music.
That's because I copied Johnny Cage.
Shout out Johnny Cage.
I call it
Johnny, bro.
When it's time, when all else fails, I ain't gonna hold you. When all else fails, I call, hey, go ahead and turn on the Johnny Cage set. Just go ahead and put that shit together. I already know what them shits is.
Yeah.
I sit, because I've been to a lot of Johnny Cage shows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
how did that relationship happen with you and Johnny Cage, man? Johnny Cage is a good friend of ours, man. He's fucked with us for a long time. How is that relation? How is it that you met him and got involved? You said the XM, you know, fucking globalization.
We
fucking on XM radio. How did that happen?
So when my boy Christian was putting me on to, you know, all the people that didn't want to talk to me in English,
you fucking putos.
I was doing this place. It was called Social Thursdays at Brick and Mortar downtown in the Union Plaza, right? And one night, they're like, hey, you're not gonna play by yourself tonight. You're gonna play with Johnny Cage. Actually, you're gonna open for Johnny Cage because he's gonna close it out. I'm like, all right, cool. I had already done my research. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking open note for
you already knew who Johnny Cage was.
Fucking guy out here.
So it hit
about
you.
Fucking time.
You're like, Ma.
It's about time. Because I never ran into him. I never had a chance to run into him. I only heard him on the radio.
How did you prep for that?
I didn't.
No.
So, dude, at that time, I was old. You know what I mean? It was, like I said, I started like 25. Like, started DJing. So I was probably like, 27 maybe or something like that. I don't know. But I was old. Then I should. Then to be like the young DJ in the town, I was already older. So, but as a young DJ in the age of DJing, I was young. I've probably been DJing for like 3 years.
Oh,
you know? But I was already. I knew what I had already done before I got here, and I knew what I was doing already before I met Johnny. And I was like, I don't give a fuck what he does. I'm gonna smoke him. Ooh. That's just.
You wanted to do something better than who you fucking
I was like,
look up to.
I'm gonna fucking show you what's some shit. And so I did my thing.
Is it because he's short?
No.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
And then so I did it or whatever. Johnny did his thing, and then we talked after, or it might have been right before he started. I can't remember. I think it was after. And he comes up to me and he was like, dude, I don't go up to nobody. Like, I really don't care. Most of these DJs suck anyway. But I've never heard somebody DJ like that in a long time. Especially right now, no one DJs like that. You keep DJing that way, you'll fucking go far.
That's Johnny Cage for you guys.
From that time, you know, before that, it was like, and this is most opinions for everybody else. Most opinions of Johnny before they meet him, like, Johnny's a dick or he's a cocky dude or whatever.
Okay, hold on. We've said this all the time, man.
He's fucking
Everybody was telling me.
Honestly, and it's not a hateful thing I'm saying. Some people might take it as hate, but you got to understand, he doesn't give a fuck. That's a type of mindset that for successful people, you have to not give a fuck.
Exactly.
You know what Johnny gives a fuck about is people that actually care and actually want to work. And that's how we
Johnny-
became good friends, man.
Johnny cares about the city.
The community.
Johnny cares about music. And that's it, really. Like,
Facts.
honestly, he don't really care about nothing else. Like, it, you know, and his faith. Like, his faith, music, and the community. That's it. He don't really give a fuck about what you think about him, about how, like, he doesn't care. And it's not like he hasn't earned that position to say, like,
Exactly.
yo, fuck you. He could easily, but he doesn't.
He doesn't.
He never does. He just,
It's the most humble guy, dude.
He
That's
doesn't
why,
care.
That's
I've
why
had
I hate it when people call me or whenever they see something with Johnny Cage and they're like,
The
"Oh,
messages.
that guy's a fucking asshole." Blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah, and this and that. And I was like, "What the fuck? How did you get that information?
screenshot I
What
have.
made it? What made you?
Fuck 'em,
what
bro,
made
fuck 'em.
you think of that about him?" And then they're like, "No, well, it's because I heard." And I was
No
like,
way,
"No.
'cause I heard.
It's-
You heard.
Of course you heard it. Of course you heard it. Unless you know who Johnny Cage is. You don't know who Johnny Cage is.
Johnny, me and him have had some cool conversations in the past couple of years. Just me really, because there was a time where I was like, yo, fuck this guy, dude. Like, why the fuck is it him every single time? Why him? Why? But I had to look at it and then, like, kind of just observe first off and just kind of look at yourself. Like, first off, I'm not from El Paso. Why the fuck do I think that I should own it? Like, I'm not from here anyway, you know? But he's born and raised here. He's done so much as a come up from the bottom. He's done it all right here in front of everybody's eyes. It's like watching
From the beginning,
It's like
guys.
watching Macaulay Culkin grow up
That
right
is
in front of you.
literally,
Yes, dude.
Like, and everybody
Somebody
loves
should have
Macaulay
done a
Culkin.
documentary on him since he started, because the story that he told us is like he told me a story that at one point that they paid him to just turn off and on the lights at a fucking DJ
Damn.
place in Juarez. But that I mean, from that to where he's at
Where
now,
he's
it's
at,
like
exactly.
you have to go through
Take
all
sacrifice.
that to become somebody like Johnny Cage in a city like El Paso.
Gotta
Like,
eat shit
you
to
know,
fucking
so-
be the shit.
And then, so I was like, okay, so let me just sit back and let me learn from the guy instead of fucking hating on him and give him his respect that is due, you know? And this is before SiriusXM and all that stuff. And then the SiriusXM stuff, how we got together, you know, I was working like under the table with Pitbull Globalization for some of the homies and shit. Shout out to the Mag Park.
Shut up.
And Mickey and the Mickey D show. I was doing, you know, graphics for them and stuff. And then I would do a couple mixes. I would send in guest mixes and stuff. But then Johnny got on. I wasn't mad about it. I'm like, yo, finally, like, that's dope. Like, that he's getting his recognition, right? Been killing it. And then I got put on, and then it was like two of us in El Paso are on the same station.
Exactly.
That is the number one station on Sirius XM.
Yeah.
Like, it
No
fucking smokes everybody else. Just because of the mix shows, dude. All the DJs on there are fucking fire.
And I remember, man, we interviewed, when we talked about this, we interviewed Johnny Cage when we talked about the XM radio on another podcast that I was on, and he did mention you, and he did say that, like, hey, the fact that we have two people from El Paso on this, you know, and DJ Jason Craig and all this, that kind of, that for me, it kind of was like, dude, you're already at this top level and you're still fucking doing this shit for the small people.
Yeah, it was, you know, and when I was on, you know, Johnny had his own show. When I was on, I was a part of a bigger show, you know what I'm saying? And then that show went, you know, they stopped doing the show, but they are those guys were like, yo, Jason, if you want to keep doing it, fucking go ahead and ask
Right.
them, see if they'll let you
run
do
it.
it. And so, yeah, so that's how overtime came. That's how we got overtime.
Shit.
Oh, congrats. You
So
wanna,
the concept of overtime was like, you know, that show ended. The show I was on, it's done, and I kept going. I'm in overtime.
That's
Take over.
It's like, hey, we're not done yet. It's
Not
some
done, bro. It's
overtime.
more game to
Some
play.
overtime.
More game to play.
That's
so
so
with
sick, dude.
overtime, you're killing it now in 2023, 2024, 2025. What's overtime looking like right now?
Still just cooking, man. I want to get guests on there, but you know, there's a whole bunch of things that go on behind the scenes that we have to tighten up before we can, open up the floodgates. But I got ideas of, ideas of DJs that I want on there. We've had those conversations. Those DJs know who they are. And I would love to put them on because they're freaking phenomenal people, number one. People first, DJ second. You better be good. And then...
I love it. I love it. But hold on, Tree. Hold on. We're coming into almost 45 minutes into this first half. What I want to do is I want to take a break. But before you do take a break, man, on the second break, I do want to continue talking about this. You do have a bunch of stuff going on, Craig. I mean, obviously now you're you're involved with the UTEP Miners, man, the great University of El Paso, Texas. Not Shazad, but you have something started that it's called the AM Club, right? It's called the AM Club.
Yeah, the AM Coffee Club.
The AM Coffee Club that we're going to get into. But before we do take a break, can you look into this camera right here and can you let everybody know where they could follow you, look up your music, and all your information, man?
You can follow me at Jason Craig ___ 3 times for your mind because if it rhymes, it works all the time. On the threads. I don't do X because you know what I'm saying. Fuck that. And then threads, Instagram, and Facebook. That's pretty much it.
So there you go, guys. There you go.
Channel
We'll have all that information at the bottom link below, so you guys could follow enough. When you come back, like I said, there's a lot more that we want to know about you, bro.
Real quick.
Yeah.
I thought about it, and I normally wouldn't do it.
What's up?
I'll put the pre-sale of those AM Coffee Club shirts. You can get those in the link, too. I'll let you guys have...
Hey, guys!
What I heard is if you don't get that drop, you miss that drop.
You have to be there to get it. I was thinking, like, dude, like, I don't want to do that. I don't want the internet, everybody to be able to have it. But I fuck with you guys. And I'm like, dude... What better way? Like, let them have it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you fuck with them, they fuck with me.
But like I said, like he said, man, the only way to get this merch is to be there at his next spot. And we're going to talk more about it in more detail when we come back. You guys make sure you guys are following, subscribing, and liking. Shout out to General Reference Studios. When we come back, we got a lot more juicy shit, guys. We will be right back right after this. Welcome back, guys. Episode number 48 here with 47. Our boy DJ Jason Craig.
My boy, well, I want to say thank you once again for your time and just coming by and hanging out with the boys.
Yeah, dude. You have a very interesting story, bro. I think just knowing that how much you've come around, you've been around more than Chewy's ex. But
hey, thank you for that. Thank you.
But not all that being said, I know that we were talking about how it was when you got into your DJing, and there's a lot of stuff. I know that we mentioned that we talked to you this past weekend. We were actually at the AM Coffee Club event that you're starting to throw out. Give us a little bit more information about that, how you came up with it, and what people should expect.
How did I come up with it? So the last few months, besides UTEP, I haven't really been DJing. Like, I got let go from, like, everywhere. Like, I wasn't DJing. Like,
wait, what?
At all.
Wait, what?
It seems like I was DJing, but it wasn't for things that were, like, locally established. It was out-of-town, like, promoters and shit that would book me for things that are local, or I was doing UTEP. But, no. I got fired from Gringo. I got fired from
Was it like a bad fire? Was there like drama involved?
I wouldn't say it's drama, but like I don't fucking know this dude, and this dude kind of like got into he was always in my shit for some reason. Like
hater.
I don't know if it's a hater, dude, but for some reason when I got let go, his name came in right behind mine. Does that make sense?
Right.
So I was like, yo, who the fuck is this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. So I had to figure something out. And so I was like, okay. And I'd always thought about it. I'm like, dude, I want to do one of these coffee parties because I've been seeing them pop up for years since like 2021. Like
that's crazy. I didn't even know that shit was going on like that. Didn't know.
There was a spot in DC that was doing it, and I was like, that ain't gonna work. That's
so real quick, for those who not know what these coffee pop-ups or coffee things are, explain to them. Elaborate a little bit.
I mean, it's literally just kind of like a party where there's coffee. It's just during the day, and instead of really pushing, shots or mimosas and
you're
all that,
taking espresso shots.
You Cornitos in the morning.
You really can just do coffee. So the first one we did was at 210. And that was amazing because there was no alcohol. It was just coffee and brunch. And that was it. You can get your espressos. You can get an iced coffee. And I was like, yo, that's where I should go. Because
that's
honestly,
somewhere that you should go after when you're hungover. When you wake up and you want to go somewhere where
that was I was hungover and I was vibing.
This motherfucker was dying. I had to fucking force him to fucking come because he's the one that planned it. And I was like, no, we got to go.
But so I look at it like in the experience of what I've been going through, right? So if I'm getting let go from bars, it's probably because there's no money in the situation, which means no one's spending money at night to buy drinks or whatever. So where are they spending their money at? But they're not spending money on coffee. Everybody spends money on coffee. That's all the time.
Everybody spends coffee.
And I remember having that conversation with you. You're like, bro, the bars are dying. The coffee shops are opening up.
I don't think like bars are dying, but like to think that opening a new bar is going to bring in a new clientele of people with the same mindset of what we used to think of is fucking stupid. It's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, if you think about it, I think El Paso has, I think it's one of the...
That's not just here.
Well, the city, well, yeah, but what I'm saying is like, our city is one that has the most bars compared to other cities, to a point where like we were ranked the drunkest city in in United States at one point. But you
were like that with no bars. So.
Yeah.
But at the same time, is like when would that happen? Is it just the weekends? Is it during the week? It's a business, right? You got to make money.
So look, when I first got here, in 2011. I was blown away by how many days I can drink. How many days are in a week?
Not enough.
I was drunk 10 days a week. 10 days a week I was drunk. I didn't understand how it was possible. And I'm like, so when I first got out here, I was cool. Like,
it's a different time zone.
I bet. Taco Tuesday, cool. I get it, right? Taco Tuesday, that's literally everywhere.
Yeah.
Thursday, college night type thing, cool, get it.
Hump day, regular
Friday.
No, here in El Paso is Monday is divorce day.
Bro,
Tuesday
it was
is
fucking insane. When my homie was like, yo, we're going out right now, and it was Sunday at 10 p.m., I'm like, it's Sunday. I got to work tomorrow. Nah, it's cool. And I was like, what? And
then we would go. You heard that? Drop a comment. How many times have you heard that?
We would go to fucking the Three-Legged Monkey and get fucking blizzammed, like out of here, fucking gone. And then I'd have to go. I was still in the Army. I would have to go to PT at 5 in the morning.
You military,
and I'm
guys,
fucking the Bended Reed.
He's still dancing them songs that he was hearing.
1, 2, 3, 1. I'm fucking like dying over here, Sar. Like,
but do you want to like? Okay, he said we were ranked drunkest. You've been around the world.
Yeah.
Is it a fact?
Yeah.
For that, cheers, my boys.
Hey, drink to it.
Well, let's join them, dude.
But the thing is that with AM Coffee Club, it was more to kind of go, kind of hit a different market. I like hitting different markets. You know what I mean? I'm a wrestling fan, so I like to attack. I want anything that has to do with wrestling. I'm gonna go and make it a party too. But also, the AM Coffee Club, we've dealt with a couple MILFs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can't. Why I can't go out at night. I have a child. I have children.
Yes, yes,
Right,
yeah.
right,
That's
right, right.
Professionally, you do.
Responsibility.
Yeah. We're being professional here.
Responsibility. Yeah,
You have a kid. You
But-
have
Parenting. Yeah.
How about we go out and have some coffee?
girl.
Hey, I like. Yeah, we can do that. I can bring my kid
Let me
to
write
coffee.
this shit down. Let me write this
Hey,
shit
right-
down right now.
Write
They
that shit
can
for
bring.
me too. Right
They
here.
can bring their kids and all that to the coffee. You know what I mean?
Bring their kids, our kids. Sorry, girl, our kids.
To the coffee, right?
Coffee.
with Chewy.
They get coffee. Kids can get hot chocolate. They can get some waffles. Not that bum ass Eggo shit that you got in
No,
your fridge.
they had-
Hold on. But if people want it, can they take a shot?
Depends on where we're at.
Depends
Yes.
on where they're
Yes.
at. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you're attacking a different market. Yeah, they would love to go out with you at night, but they can't.
Yeah, and
But
I
if you
respect that.
give them the opportunity to go out, it's
for my
right. You know, there's
daily
day parties, right?
portas.
Right.
There's day
right.
parties.
Yeah, right.
But the day parties are still pushing what?
Drinking.
The
Yeah,
daily
it's a day
ones?
drinking.
Alcohol.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's day
And I
drinking.
can't take my kid there.
That's true.
That's right. That's right.
But you can always bring your kid to coffee.
That's right.
That's true.
So
Are they not bringing their kids to Starbucks?
What about
Yeah,
their,
no,
what
you're
about
right,
their
you're right.
dogs? What about their dogs? Can we bring our dogs to
Well,
this
I'm
type
happy
of
you
shit?
said. I'm happy you asked that
Yeah.
because on April 19th we're gonna have a party at Mutt's.
At Mutts.
At Mutt's on the west side,
Yes,
Be there, be
which is a
square.
dog park, or it's a dog bar. It's a bar for dogs, and we're having a AM Coffee Club event over at Mutt's.
Oh
on
shit!
April
So
19th.
you guys collaborated with Muds. Now you guys are gonna have this AM coffee club there
Yeah.
at Muds. So now you
if
can
you
not
have-
only bring your
You can bring your-
baby mama, but also bring your kids
And your
also-
dogs.
and your
fur
fucking
friend, your fur pet.
Yeah, you bring your dog, which is cool. One cool thing I say about Mutt's. You know how you don't want to wash your dog at home? Like it gets messy. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
the dog is
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
shaking and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not
dude, I
even
hate
that.
taking Chew to my house.
And I
Shake all over the
everywhere,
yeah.
bro. He kicks me out. I go home muddy.
place.
Everywhere.
Mutt's has a dog shower station, and you can use it for free to wash your dog
Before
No
you
way.
leave, before you
with
What
shampoo
the
fuck?
and all
I
that
had
stuff.
no
for the
Muds.
dogs.
Wait.
Muds, I know you're watching Muds.
Hit us
Please
up. Hey.
come on by. Let everybody know what Muds is all
I
about.
was like, that's
Wait,
that's so sick.
tight. And then they also have dog beer.
That's what I was gonna
dog
say.
beer.
Yeah,
I heard.
it's a bar for dogs.
Again, so I was about to say that, so I said, wait.
Wait. So you can't just have a beer yourself, but your dogs have a beer too?
Absolutely.
How does that work, dude? Is that illegal? Sounds illegal.
It's dog beer.
It's scientifically dog beer, bro.
Yeah, it's not
And I was
tested
gonna
on
ask
humans.
you. Yeah, I was gonna ask you. Is the dog beer really a thing?
Dude, I don't know,
Yeah,
dude. I don't know if
yeah.
I would
So-
want to take my dog
so
there
that-
because he'll pick up all the bitches.
Soy un perro. Soy perro.
Shout out to all the dogs out there. But yeah, so that you can get dog beer and they have dog beer for you, and then you can wash your dog.
So you're doing this on 19th,
April 19th.
April
yes.
19th, guys. Make that write
Saturday,
it down
April
on your-
19th.
And this is a family-oriented thing. Bring not
anybody.
just your family. Bring your dog. Bring your grandma. Bring your neighbor. Bring your side chick. All of them.
And with
Bring
the
'em out.
AM Club being, you said it earlier, you have limited drops, right? What's the new drop
Okay,
gonna look for that one?
AM Coffee Club. Sorry, but the idea was DJs don't make money, so
Wait,
we have to
what?
figure out a
Wait,
way.
wait, wait.
We have to figure out a way to get some type of revenue from it. You know, if the place wants to pay us, then that's cool. But I thought the cool thing about AM Coffee Club, which shout out to my man Danger Zone. Like he has a song. It's called "Bring Me Coffee," which is out now on all your
Bring me
DSPs.
coffee.
Bring Me Coffee. And he did this thing where he's like, I just want kind of like a design that's kind of like you could put on a shirt where it says like "Bring Me Coffee" on the back or something like that. So I kind of took that idea, used it for AM Coffee Club, and then thought of, you know, those shirts that say like the anti club or the
Anti-social?
Yeah, whatever. You know, I took that and was like, oh, the AM Coffee Club. That's how I did it. That's the whole concept.
It's just a brand of yeah.
Right. Something to just brand it.
Yeah.
And then that first party at 210, I printed out 3 different design colorways, or 4 of them.
And that bitch was packed.
It was
I
tight.
saw
that
that, bro.
shit was fucking packed.
My roses to you, bro. You're
That shit
real.
was- dude, I sent you a message because I know you guys are fucking big wrestling fans. And then I saw your post about that shit. And I was all like, dude, did you know he was doing that AM coffee shit? And he's all like, yeah, I forgot, bro. I'm sorry.
Here's the screenshot. Boom. He's like, don't get fucked up. And he
And
kept
then-
calling me.
And then so we did so we put the shirts out there and everybody just kept asking. It was a test. I was like, I want to see what happened. And everybody kept asking, hey, how much are the shirts? How much are the shirts? And it was only the 4 shirts, so we didn't have any. I was like, we'll have a pre-order coming up soon. And then so when we did that, I knew the shirts were a thing. But I also didn't know how to sell them. I was like, oh shit. I gotta come out of pocket. And I'm like, you know what? If I can figure out the pre-sale part, everything else is going to be easy. So then I was like, how do I do a pre-sale part, but I don't want to, for my printer to do a whole bunch of different colorways. Just do one is focus on that. So each event will be different. Oh, also in LA, they're doing an AM Coffee Club as well. And they're going to have a limited edition colorway. Dodger colors. Dodger colors. So you can only get it in LA. You can only get that in LA.
So that's the idea that you got. Is like, hey, look, in order for you to want to do so, every single event, every single AM Coffee Club time is gonna be
there'll be a different colorway
merch type.
We're also gonna figure out a way to just do like a basic, just a black shirt with white, so that everybody can just have one. You know what I'm saying? But for the limited edition, those colorways,
okay,
it's per spot.
Dude, I love it, bro. I love it. And I gotta say, man,
cheers to your success on that.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea. Chewy invited me for it, and you know, knowing that we wanted to get you on, he's all like, hey, we gotta see what he's doing. And he sent me a text. He's all like, hey, you know, he's doing the AM Coffee Club shit, and I was like, okay, let's do it. So we show up, bro. There's a fucking Volkswagen coffee place there.
Shout out to Luna's.
Shout out to Luna's Coffee,
man. We're reaching out to them. Hopefully we could get them on here soon. But the coffee was dude. They sold out their hot coffee, so we showed up. It was a little breezy. The weather lately, I mean, from compared to the rest of the fucking week,
Jesus,
that
was
weather
fucking
was
amazing.
Perfect,
it was a little chilly for me, but I still got a cold coffee.
Still dancing,
but
bro.
what made it good was the fucking jams. The food there at that place. It was
at Midtown Spirits.
Shout out Midtown
man.
Spirits.
Midtown Spirits. They're gonna be coming up next, guys. After this,
Great people.
But it was cool, man. What I loved about most of it, man, it was just how chill. The fact that it was 10 a.m., 10:30 when we showed up, and people were there and they were fucking having breakfast, but also the jams that they were doing. There was a fucking pug that I saw in there. Somebody had their 3-year-old and like, a few
that
kids
couple were
and
having shots. Like,
dude, it was I saw college kids hanging out there, which I knew for a fact they were hungover, but they were still partying and having some coffee.
Someone came in and it felt like they were still on the rips.
Yeah.
So, guys, honestly, we're not just juicing it up, but the AM Coffee Club is actually a spot you want to be at, bro. No matter where, follow them, check them out, and
the whole
party
thing
with us, bro.
The whole thing is more about the same thing as Johnny's mindset. It's to put eyes on product, you know what I'm saying? Eyes on venues, things. People always say there's nothing to do in El Paso. There's tons of things that will do in El Paso, but you're just not looking for it.
Yeah, I
was always told there's nothing to do in El Paso when I got here, and I've done everything. So how can there be nothing to do if I've done it all? And still learning different ways to do things as these places come up and the world changes and all this stuff.
Yeah, I've always said this. I think I've said it on every fucking episode. And the thing is like this is one of the reasons why I started this episode is because I was one of those people. I was one of those that like I grew up thinking like nothing happens here. I can't wait to move out, and I did. I ended up moving out. I moved to San Antonio for over a year, and then I started knowing the history. I'm a big history guy, so knowing the history of El Paso, and it just tripped me out at the fact that we're the top 20th biggest cities in the United States. We're bigger than Atlanta. We're bigger than a bunch of these big cities that we say that we are. And the thing is like people say like, well, there's nothing cool. There's fucking cool shit. There's so many great people here with great skills. There's good things to do here.
Not only that, amazing food, top athletes, nationally globalized DJs, bro. You can come party with them. You can have nightclubs, bro. There's comedy clubs.
Yeah. So I made it my goal. That, you know what, man, I want to make sure that we could expose all this. We want to make sure that everybody knows, even the little ones, even the people that are barely starting these great ideas that they have. We found out that day there at that spot that they have fucking Battle of the Bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
They
Yeah,
did.
they have
At
some,
Midtown.
and they're still having it at Midtown Spirits. They're having Battle of the Bands. They've been around since 2022, 2021,
She
man.
said that, yeah.
It's just brand new place. Check them out. They're gonna be
Super
on our
cool.
show here, but I love that, man. I love the fact that you said it right there and then, man. Every time you talk to people here in El Paso, it's like, oh, there's nothing here to do, dude. Well, there's nothing here to do because you don't fucking look around.
You're just lazy. That's all it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
are. They
there's a
are.
line.
And with El Paso being said, the other day we were hanging out, and I always see you. You always rock with this person. She always on your story. We even think she's your manager, brother. How did you and your wife meet, and how did she help you in your venture, bro? Because I see she's got your back to $1 million.
Rumps.
Really?
No.
I'm like, really? I'm like, oh, okay. Nah, bro.
You gotta get some help somewhere.
We met at the bars back when you could meet people at bars and
And actually meet somebody.
yeah, and then I didn't want anything to do with her, and because of her friend was a shithead, and I was like, dude, I don't ever want to see these people ever again.
No shit. So you met her, and then her friends were just kind of like too fucked up that you're like,
I was
nah,
like,
you know what,
fam,
man?
nah. And then it just came. I went to one of the brunches. You know the brunch is coming back.
The brunch.
Wait, the brunch?
The brunch.
The brunch brunch.
The
brunch.
Wait, which one are you
The
talking about?
morning after brunch.
no shit.
Oh, damn.
That's coming back.
It's coming back.
Damn.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
excited.
Yeah,
That's
so
badass, bro.
I met her at a brunch, and then it's supposed to be, you know what I mean, and then here we are.
The rest is history.
That
There we are.
that's beautiful because
Yeah.
I see you guys. I met you guys at a wrestling event, bro, and ever since.
Yeah,
then,
dude. Everywhere that we see you guys, we see you with your wife. We see you with your kids. You a big supporter.
a family man.
And that's something that we really, really cherish for all those people that are doing stuff. You know how important it is to get supported by the ones that you love. But yeah, this day that we went to this place, your wife showed up, your kids showed up, and that's like a family thing.
You even had your
how is
son
that?
on
How is
stage.
that to you? How important is it to you in this situation where you're at to have that support?
I'll be honest. My brain I'm fucked up, in my head. So, support is support, but I love that, Amanda supports me in a way that no one else would, support me, even in times of when it hasn't been good. You know what I mean? She still was kind of there,
Right.
and there's a lot of people that say they support and they're not even fucking there, So that's a really big thing for me. There's
People that say
my
they
kids-
support, but people that
what's
show.
crazy? What's crazy about my kids, man? Like,
Do your kids know what you do?
yeah, they don't give a fuck.
I was gonna say, man, that's crazy.
That's awesome.
They don't give a
all
shit.
your kids, like,
It's cool, like my son gets to go to UTEP games and all that
Dude,
shit. Like,
yes.
and they love that. They love to get to.
but that's the norm for them, right? They don't
They
know.
don't know.
They don't
any
know what it
different.
took.
It's
That's
like they don't know the
cool.
difference. So like,
Yeah.
oh, we're going to a game. Cool. This
Another game. All right, Dad,
Actually,
I'm down.
I saw you guys on TV, and then you showed me your video where the wrestler was trying to sip your beer.
Oh shit! Yeah, at TNA.
Yeah,
At TNA.
I want to get into that right now, but real quick, man. We've mentioned UTEP. You're now the fucking DJ for their basketball, men's, women's, also the volleyball women's team. Bro, congratulations! I think that's such a huge deal. Not just that, but you just fucking did 100
Yes, sir.
games.
Let 'em
for
know.
fucking minors basketball team,
Yeah.
bro, dude. Holy shit, bro.
That's a milestone, Papa.
Big old milestone. I want to go back to that, bro. When did that happen? When did that collaboration? How did you get it? Because for me, man, that's a big deal. For El Paso people that are watching and listening, UTEP has always been a staple in our city, whether we win or lose. How did you get that, bro? How did that happen?
You know how you brought up like El Paso's like the drunkest city or whatever?
Yeah.
I was at a bar and these girls ran up on me and they're like, "Oh my God,
You're Jason Craig.
this is the guy we need." And I'm like, huh? The fuck? then the girl explained, I've seen you DJ at this certain spot. I've seen you DJ here, and all those other places. And every time I see you, you're freaking killing it. Like, you're just doing music. You're just playing music, and you fucking rip it. You don't play it like anybody else. And we want you to DJ for UTEP basketball. And this is the boss lady. So shout out to Eileen.
Shout out Eileen, girl.
Super great idea, Eileen.
Eileen asked for my business card, and I was like, all right, cool. And I gave it to her. And I was like, this is not going to happen.
It's
Who
just
the
another
fuck
person.
is DJing
Yeah.
for a UTEP basketball game? You know what I mean?
I never even thought about a DJ for any of the
thing.
sports.
What?
If it would have been anybody, who should have been? Fucking Johnny.
Yeah, dude.
I know,
So that's why I was like, this is not going to happen.
Yeah.
2 days later, I get a phone call. Hey, we want to, have a meeting or whatever. So I go have a meeting.
Interview.
Yeah. And then the next week, I was DJing the game. And that's how it started.
Dude, we have pictures
that,
where we're
pass me
gonna
your
pull up.
cup,
We're
my
gonna
boy.
pull up some pictures right here.
I
We're
got
gonna
a
pull
lot,
up some
yeah.
pictures right here. The first time that we noticed is you were DJing for a football game.
A football game, yeah.
And we went out there, and Amanda, your wife, fucking took some pictures for us, bro. And we were just happy to see you fucking DJing
It
out
was a-
there, bro. And it's crazy the fact that there's hundreds, maybe even thousands of people listening and watching this game, but they're also not just that watching the game, but they're fucking listening to the
you.
beats that you're doing.
Yeah.
And that was crazy, man. And then to find out that you're also doing it for the UTIP games, and we've gone to a game, and that's fucking dude. Shout out to
For that, I poured a shot, my boy.
shots.
100. How many is it? 100 or what now?
Jesus.
I lost count now.
Papa,
Jesus.
100.
Hundreds, dude. To game 100.
100 is like, you once you hit like 100, I feel like it's like, you know what you're doing.
My
You know
bad.
what I'm saying?
I mean, when you hit to
So you know,
game 100, that means that UTIP
They trust you. They trust with you and all that stuff. So honestly, shout out to all the Minor Nation and the entire Minor fans. It's been a long road. They hated me. They hated me at first. Oh my
Really?
god!
Why do you say
Oh.
that? What do you say that?
Can
What
we
do you
ask
think
you
they
about
hated
that?
you?
Because I got told about the emails. They
So how do you
hated
deal
me.
with that? Oh, so let's go back, because I know that ain't the first time that you get hate. I mean, the conversations that we've had, there's a lot of people that for some reason just still not like. But having talked to comedians, having talked to other artists, they've
Even
always
podcasters.
told us the same type of story, that there's people out there that just fucking hate, that are in the same field as you. But it's only because I feel like they hate it because you're fucking good. You're doing something good. But how do you handle that? How do you handle that negativity, that people telling you that you suck, or people that, don't want to follow you, or that's just negativity? How do you handle that, Craig?
I block them.
just like that.
Just like that.
You get blocked. I've gotten to the point, instead of like attacking or just, and it's only been like 5 months, where I don't go on social media and just start barking at everybody because
Is that what you
hate
used
or
to do?
whatever. Dude, fucking, I'm notorious for freaking barking on social media.
Oh,
Okay,
I-
all
yeah,
right.
but the thing
Juice
is,
out.
I will bark, and then I'll freaking challenge, and then there's no comeback, and then they disappear into the abyss of normal people.
Yeah.
So you eliminate the competition, in other words.
No, it's
Well,
just
I
that
try, but-
he eliminates the hate. He
I try.
he-
It's like, yo, if you think you're better or whatever, like, I challenge you to this. Let's have a conversation. Let's battle it out or whatever. And then if you choose not to do that because you're afraid, I'm not afraid of shit. I'm not afraid of a fucking thing.
And I gotta say, man,
I'm a black man in
Yeah.
America. I'm afraid enough. If that's not
Hell,
scary,
my
if
boy.
that's not scary enough, I don't know what the fuck is. I'm
And-
not
and-
afraid of shit.
And I gotta say, bro, before you continue, man, before we started this episode, I asked him, is there some shit that you don't want me to say? Is there something that, like some trash talk or something? He pretty much told me, he was like, no, dude, like, I'm an open book.
I asked, do you want to
talk
trash
some
the
shit,
haters?
talk
He's
some
like,
shit. Like, and I respect that, man. And I respect that to a very high level, only because being in the industry where there's a lot of people that either follow you or don't follow you, you're gonna have people that hate on you, man. We've like Chewy said earlier, we had some guy that just talked a lot of shit, and the way to hit it up for me, in my opinion, was to just come with kindness. But for you, I love the fact that you said is like, okay, why? What, you want to hate me? Okay, why do you hate me? Let's talk about it, and then people fucking.
Can I ask? Cause you said it the other at AM Coffee Shop, and we were like, what the fuck? You told them, you're like, yeah, people fuck with me when I collab, but not when I'm by myself. And I looked at this one, I'm like, dude, we feel the same way. But honestly, bro, I felt like that just because now I understand you more. You're not from Chuco, so maybe that has to do a lot with it, or
It could be, but it could also be, like I said, I talk a lot of shit. I stir the pot.
Yeah.
But I stir the pot for positive reaction. Like
yeah.
if I'm fucking
yeah.
challenging you, that means you're not doing enough.
Right.
That's why I look at it, right? If you're not doing enough, then you should probably do better, right? And people don't like being told that they can be better. They don't like being told they can be better. It's not about you should be better. I'm telling you things that I see that you can be this.
Right.
If you're choosing not to do that, then you're going to hate on what I'm telling you, and that's fine. If
There's some people that can't take criticism. There's everybody could fucking talk their shit and give their opinion, but can you take the same opinion back? That's a big difference. So that being said, really quick, if somebody was to ask you, somebody random, what do you think about El Paso? What would your answer be?
It's the fucking hardest, best city that I've ever lived in my entire life. And I've lived here the longest. I've never lived anywhere longer than this.
No shit.
Yeah, this is
Throughout
the
your whole
longest
life.
I've ever lived anywhere in one place ever.
And why is that? Just not because of El Paso or anything, but why did you decide to stay here?
What?
why did you decide, out of all the places, why El Paso? Why? Like,
Man.
It's easier in a sense if you know what you're doing. It's cheaper, cost of living is fucking mad cheaper. Food's amazing. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? Like, things are just so simple if you just know what you're doing.
Right.
If you don't know what you're doing, yeah, it can swallow you up.
you
But you can do that anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
true.
Yeah,
you can do that anywhere. If you know what you're doing, you can do good. People can say like, "Hey, Jason, why don't you go to LA?" But you got to think in your brain, like, bro,
How is he? Yeah. What
it's
would I have to
expensive,
do
dog.
to go out there?
Like, I could do it. Do I want to do it? I really don't. But I could.
I've always said,
And
bro.
people in LA are stressed the fuck out, bro.
super, bro.
They're stressed out.
I've
But
always
when they
said,
go
man.
party, they're partying. I get it because you're stressed the fuck out.
That's true, man.
I
but
love
I've
you,
always
El
said,
Paso.
man, this is what I've always said. When it comes to El Paso and all that, is like, what do you know? What have you done? What is it that you know about El Paso so good that you think that you could change? Right. You've already done your thing. You've already been here since 2011, and I feel like you've already known more about El Paso than most El Pasoans does. But only because El Pasoans are the type of people that don't explore, man.
They don't get out.
They don't
I
get
don't-
out, man.
We're cheap fucks. We're cheap fucks.
One thing is, I don't want El Paso to change. Be who you are, but also look in the mirror. That's what I think. My thing is like, look in the mirror about the importance of what El Paso really is in America. Let's just start small. In America, there's so much importance that is based from right here. And if you're not looking into it or knowing how important it is, then yeah, you're going to think that El Paso ain't shit. But El Paso is, my God.
I've always said, man. I've always said El Paso.
So important in American culture. It is fucking unbelievable when you find it out. You'll be like, holy
That should have happened there.
shit.
It all happened and
started because
started
of this.
here and
It's
evolved
all
to
that.
Colorado, to Albuquerque, to Dallas. Like, I didn't know.
Look,
and if this wouldn't put me
I've
on.
always said it, man. When it comes to El Paso, it doesn't matter what you're doing, whether it's music, DJing, podcasting, being an actor. El Paso has always been like the frontier about a lot of this.
And I don't want to get I'm not going to get political on it, but I'm just going to put the seed out there. So that just, everybody that is paying attention on the vids and is watching and listening, here's just one thing. Why are some Asians' last name Sanchez?
And I'm going to tell you that. Why?
Nope.
Okay.
Let them do the research, bro, because they have to learn. They
like
have
that.
to learn,
Yep.
why are some of the Asians' last name Hernandez? And why are their last names Garcia? Find out why that is. Because it starts with right here and looking into your own mirror about your history of who El Pasoans are. And it might hurt. When you look that up. It
Well,
might hurt.
that's when it hurts, when you know the truth, man. But all that being said,
That's beautiful, brother.
that's really good, man. Like I've always said, it's a frontier, man. El Paso is something that people.
It's the beginning of something.
It's a beginning of a lot of things, man.
Yeah.
You could start a
It's
lot of shit
crazy
here.
what
You could
was
be the
here,
biggest
bro.
DJ here. You could be the
Yeah.
biggest podcast here. You could be the biggest actor here. You could be the biggest musician. It doesn't matter. You started off here, but also learn the history of El Paso. The only reason why you're gonna become something that big is if you know the history of El
evolve.
Paso, because you evolve. But all that being said, I want to kind of go back towards the end of this podcast. We're over an hour and a half kind of now. So what I want to know about my boy DJ Jason Craig is, what does the future look like for you? What events do you have up? What can people look up to? And what do you look yourself? Well, how do you see yourself in a few years from now, man?
So,
what's the future looking like?
in a couple days, well, this will be already out in that time, but I'm going up to Albuquerque again. I'm going to do the Shrek Rave up in Albuquerque.
You're doing
Shrek
the Shrek
Rave?
Rave?
Whoa!
I've heard about it, but can you
No, he was doing that. What?
Yeah. So I'm doing a Shrek Rave in Albuquerque on Friday. That's going to be dope. There's a couple more little events that we're doing at the Lowbrow. I think I'll go to Albuquerque a couple more times. So that we got that going on. WrestleMania is coming up. So I'm going to do I got my annual WrestleMania party. We're kicking it back off. We had a couple year break, but we're gonna bring that back, and that's just invite only. So you guys are invited. Come hang out with us at the crib, watch some WrestleMania, and it's my birthday weekend that
No
weekend.
way.
So
It's your birthday.
Hey.
So we'll do the birthday, watch WrestleMania, enjoy some of that. But
Damn, that makes me feel like I'm fucking 10
It's
years
'cause
old
can you give
again,
him?
dude. Like,
He doesn't want to get back into it. Can you give him?
I'm not saying
what's
I
going on?
don't
What's
want to
going
get
on?
back.
in the wrestling,
Yeah.
Oh,
tell
okay,
him why-
so let me explain to those that are listening and watching right now, man. Ever since I got Chewy into this, ever since we started, he told me, he's like, dude, I'm down to be a part of this, but can we get wrestling involved? Can I talk about wrestling? Can we do this and that? And I'll tell you straight up, dude, like, when I grew up, I never saw that shit. I was never into it or whatever. But like I said, I'm the type of guy that I'm open to everything, I don't want people to just focus on one thing. I want to have everybody that loves everything to be focused on it. So I told, all right, Chuy, take care of it. He's taking me already to Juarez for some lucha libre. He's talked to me about a lot of shit. He called me when John Cena went fucking rogue and shit like that, and and all that, and then knowing that you're also a big fucking wrestling fan. He told me, he's like, dog, we got to talk about wrestling with this guy. So we saw you on fucking TV. Shout out to fucking our girl Crystal Poppin as well.
You had a big old sign. Shout out
Dude,
Crystal.
you gave-
Said
you-
Crystal
you-
Poppin' OG section.
You hydrated one of them fucking wrestlers, dude.
What was the mindset of that? Like, because if you're in the wrestling community, you always make your signs. But Craig had his
Craig had
the
his
best
dreads and his
one,
beard,
and it
dude.
had-
Ready.
What did it say? If I'm correct,
it was we're here for Crystal. We're here for Poppin' OG.
Poppin' OG section or something.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. You've always been a big wrestling fan? How's that been?
No, I've always been into it. It's just my shit. Like people that what I'm saying, like we deal with fake people every day. So
Yeah. You know what I mean? And I tell him, bro, it's fake, but can you do a backflip? Can you take a putazo? Last
love that,
podcast
dude.
you told him, and I always tell him, it's in your bloodline, it's in your history. I don't know, you told him something. And this fool that night was like,
We deal with fake
he hit me
people
hard.
every day.
we deal with fake people all the time.
So you ain't wrong about that, bro. You ain't wrong about that.
So, boss, for the people that don't know, where can we find you on Instagram right quick?
At Jason Craig _ 3 times for your mind, because if it rhymes, it works all the time. I do have one announcement. My lady told me not to tell you, but I have to tell it by now. It should be already out, but I am the official brand new on-field MC for the Chihuahuas.
For the Chihuahua. Hey, we got to take a shot for this. Hold on. So now you are the official MC for the El Paso Chihuahua.
That's the fun, baby.
Here at the Takeover Show. Shout out, dude. Shout out. Let's take a big old drink. Let's take a big old shot.
Yeah,
Don't
I
give me
found out
any more.
yesterday. I was like, holy shit.
Holy
what?
fuck.
I've been waiting to say something about that for about 2.5 months.
No.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I didn't know until yesterday, but I've been waiting. I've done tryouts.
So
And
how
I
does
never
that-
said. I said
wait,
never told nobody about it. Like, I was doing tryouts. I never told people that I applied. I never did anything. I just kept it.
Our viewers, we're going a little extra tonight.
Cause you know most of the time, like I said, I'm quick to fucking go on the internet and just pop off. But I was like I said, I was going through some shit where I had no gigs, and this opportunity popped up, and I'm like, I have to go all in. I have to fucking really do. I want this so bad. I've never wanted something more than I've wanted this. Honestly,
This is your hunger.
because I remember when they tore down the convention center right there
Yeah.
to put the stadium up, and I lived right there, like 2 blocks away in the Diplomat.
Oh,
and
shit.
I lived right there when it was happening.
So you saw it all come down.
I
You
saw it
remember-
all-
fuck.
Let me,
And look
then
at you now.
And then
don't give up, motherfuckers.
But even at that time, I was like, all right, whatever, minor league, no one gives a fuck. But then there, everybody was talking about what the name is. Remember they were doing that
The
whole thing.
Vault?
What's our name? Like what the name is gonna be? Like they had like a secret little
Yeah,
thing.
everybody
could Desert
fucking
Dogs?
vote.
No, it wasn't. It was like a black. I don't know.
Yeah, they did,
We
you're
just
right.
didn't know what it was. We were like, what the fuck is that? Like what is it?
We were voting on the news,
And
no?
then it became Chihuahuas. And I remember every fucking person on El
Hated
Paso
that shit.
hated that shit. Mind you,
No, they did. I did
mind
too.
you, when that was happening, my car was fucked up. My car is fucked up, and I had to drop it off somewhere on like by Airway, or what's the one right before Airway? Anyways, going
Yarborough, Trowbridge.
No, the other way.
Pa' la
Yeah,
chingada.
Trowbridge.
Trowbridge.
So I had to drop my car off to get fixed over there, and had to skate back right
Damn.
from there to Yandel, where the
Tony
where the,
Hawk's towel.
where the Chihuahuas play, right? I had to
Yeah.
skate all the way back that
You
way.
skated from
I
there?
skated that. So
Oh my.
as I was skating it, I noticed that half the yards that were barking at me, guess what they were?
Chihuahua. That's a hell of a fucking
That's
walk.
a
So you
sign
saw
right
what?
there, bro.
But I'm
Like
stu-
30
but I'm-
chihuahuas?
That's the
this
most
is-
biggest sign.
at-
Did you
at-
get bit?
No. At that
All right.
time, though, I was stupid. I don't know El Paso's history at the time. But then I learned, I was like, oh, we're in like the Chihuahuan Desert and all that
Yeah.
stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that makes
Okay,
better
yeah,
sense.
yeah,
That makes
yeah,
better
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
But everybody has a fucking Chihuahua in El Paso, so that's exactly what their name is. But, now everybody's grown into it, and it is what it is. But from that time, when they said that, I was like, dude, I want to be like the on-field MC. And I saw Andy do it, and I was like, that's cool. And shout out to Andy, bro. He fucking held that shit down for like, what, 8 years or whatever? Like, shout out to Andy Enfield.
So you told yourself, I would, damn.
I was like, dude, if there's an opportunity, I'm fucking down.
And
to
look
do
at
that
you now.
shit.
Look
Look
at
at
you
you
now,
now,
man. Now you're doing it, man. Shout out, man. Shout out to you, bro.
Chingon,
Shout out to
bro.
you.
So for
I wanna
2025,
I want to
Jason
give a
Craig.
big old shout out to Raed, man, because just the other day we were out there at the Chihuahua Stadium.
Locos.
It was the Locos game, but
season opener.
just the fact of just being there in that stadium and not knowing that you're gonna be doing the music on there, dude. Bro.
No. I'm not doing music. I'm not DJing. I'm like just, you want to fucking spin around on the bat and go run and make a fool of yourself?
So you're on
Got
mic.
fool.
Regardless, you're on field.
I'm
bro.
on the mic. Yeah, I'm
My
on there.
boy's on the
hey,
mic.
We, introducing, fans.
So you're a
to
big
playing
MC.
games.
So
I'm the
you're
MC,
be
yeah.
an MC.
Nothing
Oh,
with music.
bro.
Yeah.
That's even
That's
better,
fucking.
dude.
You don't even gotta like.
Jesus.
I don't have to. I don't have
Christ.
to think. I just got to read a script.
There.
Hey, but you know what? At least people
Milestones.
would know who you are, your character, the type of the person that you are, man. Damn, dude. And the fact that he's saying that here at the takeover show, dog, I want to cry, dog. I want to cry right now, dog.
I'm so happy for you, Papa. That's a beautiful
That is
milestone,
fucking
bro. Add that to
awesome,
the
bro.
resume.
No, I
Right,
tell you right now, bro. When they told me, I was like, get the fuck out of here. And I was DJing and I dropped my shit and I was like, what the fuck? I called my lady.
Nah.
In the middle of this, I was like, I'm gonna put a mix on. I don't give a fuck. And yeah, dude.
That's
fucking
cool, bro. That's cool.
Super sick.
Let me
out
ask
Paso.
you. Let me ask you now, Jason, man. No.
Yes, I'm gonna get a El Paso Chihuahuas tattoo.
Oh, where are you gonna get it?
Right here. Add it to this arm. Put it right here.
Blackout.
Should we all get it together?
I'll get a chain. Fuck it, let's do it.
Shit, let's go.
Let's go. I'm proud of you. Wait, that's badass.
We,
That's
dude,
badass.
we are extremely proud of you, Jason.
Any AM coffee shop Chihuahua vibe going on?
What's the
Mutts.
next?
Mutts.
No.
Hey, oh, Chihuahuas and Mutts.
Chico shows up. Chico,
collaboration right
that's
there,
what I'm
bro.
saying, bro. You never know.
Yeah.
God
Chihuahuas, AM coffee.
God
Club.
damn.
Let's get it
Anyways,
at the
guys.
stadium.
Anyways, so we're gonna come back towards the end of this pod. It's been an awesome pod, man. Jason, I feel like there's so much that we could learn from you. I don't think we could do this over one episode, so we're gonna have to get you back sometime soon. But all that being said, what I want to do is I want to go around this table. I want to do the last words, starting with my boy Chewy, who's dropping in some shots, dude. Why you put it in tequila on my fucking cup?
It's Dunzo.
Jesus. All right. Anyways, so Chewy, final words for you, my guy.
My boy. Well, we always do final words, but you're an awesome inspiration to the community. So if you can look into this camera and give like maybe 30 to a minute of words of motivation to the community from where what they can do from or not even from a past in the world to where they can
Just some words of some motivation.
over there.
Go to jail. Get homeless. Lose everything. Become a degenerate. And don't go to school. And then decide at that point, what the fuck are you going to contribute to Earth? Because if all those things have happened to you and you're still alive, then there's meaning for you to be here. And if there's meaning for you to be here, you need to find out what that meaning is and then excel at that. If you're good at something, fucking just keep going and being good at it. One thing that I am very good at is figuring it out and making it work. That's what I'm good at. I'm not good at DJing. I'm not good at speaking. I'm not good at writing. I'm not good at reading or sports or skateboarding. I was good at figuring it out and making it work. That's what I'm good at.
Be good at figuring it out
Find your own passion and do your
and work at it.
Just do that shit. If you find it, just fucking do that. And just make it seem like you're doing it better than everybody else, honestly.
Fuck it.
That's
Make
what
it
is.
seem like you're doing it better than everybody else. Because there's a lot of motherfuckers that suck. Look, I'll tell you this. You know, with me, Johnny Cage, DJ AM, a lot of people thought that DJ AM sucked. A lot of people thought he sucked. He just made it look better than everybody else.
Damn.
That's it. I liked the way it sounded. I liked what he was doing. It didn't matter technicality wise of how he was doing it. He made it happen. It sounded great. And if you watch As I Am, the DJ documentary of DJ AM, you'll see like he probably wasn't the best. It's just how he went about doing it.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate that, my boy.
Holy
Borderland
shit.
uplift.
All right, final words for you, Chewy.
I just want to thank you. We had to reschedule a couple times, but we met up at AM Coffee Shop. We fucking boogied. We had fun. We had a blast. I got to meet you on a one-on-one level, bro, and build a friendship with you. So if anything I can help you back, bro, you always have a friend here, not only with me, but with the Takeover Show, with the studio, bro. In good words.
Appreciate it.
Good
man.
luck
Thank
to
you.
your future, bro.
Good words, Chewy, man. I'm so proud of Chewy every time he gives the last words, bro.
He's good.
He's
That boy
he's
good.
getting better. But anyways, last words for me, man. For those that are watching and listening, this is an example of somebody that whenever you love what you're doing and you fucking take your time and you fucking go for it, this is what's gonna happen. Shout out to General Reference Studios. Shout out to my boy Chewy, but also shout out to my boy here, DJ Jason Craig.
Much appreciated, man. I've been struggling this whole episode, by the way. That fucking win has fucked me up.
We heard it, man.
I'm talking about
I hear you wheezing.
so bad that like this morning I shit dust. Like I was it was
The fairy godmother.
it was
Dude, no, I know. I heard it. He came
I
in.
was
I didn't
like-
even see him, but he came in. But I could hear down the hallway, like, do y'all have any cough drops in here inside of General Reference
fucking
Studios?
dying over here. Like the tequila's helping a little bit.
Let us know in the comments how-
The tea's a little bit good. You know what I'm saying? But like this morning, it was diarrhea of dirt. Like. I don't know if y'all ever felt that. Like,
Oh, we all did too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
I
saying?
feel it. I
It's
feel
like
it.
dirty cocaine. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
That
what I
shit
did
was
last
crazy.
weekend. Anyways, guys. Anyway. Anyways, guys. For those that are watching and listening,
No words for you.
yeah, please make sure you guys are following the Takeover Show, following General Reference Studios. But final words for me, man. Thank you so much, Jason, bro. We love to hear the stories of the people that make El Paso great. Like you said, man, people don't know what the fuck is going on here in El Paso. But if you pay attention, if you open your eyes, open your fucking ears, you're going to hear Jason Craig. And the fact that you're doing everything for UTEP. And now that you have this fucking new gig here with the Chihuahuas, bro, we can't believe that we had you on. We love you, bro. We're gonna support you every way. Let's connect so that way we could do a behind the scenes kind of vlog.
Yeah,
type
man.
Of shit.
I just
Can we do
if
that?
I can figure it out, and you know, like I said, like dude, this Chihuahua thing, man. Just come out to the games, man. Just come out to the games and fetch the fun, man. We are about to go on
the fun.
We're about to go down.
another level. Where are my dogs at?
All that being said, guys. All that being said, we are out, guys. Y'all make sure to be safe, but more importantly, y'all make sure to stay fresh. We are out.